Yeah, Sherry complains about the noise too. She's like, Steve, would you please stop yelling in the basement after?
Hello,
hello everyone, and welcome to yeah. She's like,
but that's the
you're
staple.
fucking annoying. Yeah,
it's like you can't not do that now, right?
It's tradition. Now.
Yeah,
you know, from compared to the other things I do in the basement here, I think Laurie feels that Primarily Critical is pretty tame as far as noise.
Okay.
Right, honey?
Primarily Critical. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primarily Critical. It moves out after party. This would be it.
If you have not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before consuming further.
Because we've got spoilers, trivia, and opinions like crazy, and we cannot wait to share them.
Good, bad, new, weird, or gross.
We will pass judgment on them all.
Yeah. Happiness is found using a big, juicy bug. My name is Steve. I'm here with
Phil
and
John.
Oh
no,
you guys had me almost like inhaling beer, or I choked on some beer there.
Oh, did it come with your nose? Because that's the worst.
A little bit, yeah.
A river runs through it.
Yes. Oh yeah, right.
Tie that in. Tie it in. Yes. Sometimes a river runs through your nose.
Okay. River runs through. Well, okay. Back to the movie here. Why I picked this was, as I was saying before, I thought this movie was just amazingly filmed. I thought it was just a masterpiece in the way that the shots taken, the beauty of it all, and what I love about this movie is that it takes an era that it's just a simpler time. You know, it was before all the madness of it was simple. You know, this is when people went to church. Community was community. And and then you put that against the backdrop of this beautiful Montana landscape and river, and you add in fishing, and I love the dynamic of how they portray religion in this movie. I thought that was neat how they intertwine that to nature. I thought it was there's a magic to it. That is love. There's a feeling I get from watching this movie, you know?
Yeah. I agree. It's a very beautiful movie with some definite drama, but it's at the heart of it. It's a story of brothers and family, and
yes.
It's very strong and well executed. You care about these people, and it's a beautiful period piece.
Yeah.
A slice of life.
What do you think?
America in Montana in the 1920s.
Yeah. Did you guys find it quaint? It was. I don't mean to. It was quaint. I don't know how.
Enough for you? Not edgy enough.
I had a little trouble figuring out the plot, the point. Maybe the point.
Yeah.
Was there a moral? I had a little trouble with all that stuff. It's a beautifully shot movie, and it makes me want to go fishing. And
yes, but the story.
It was an older time. They even mentioned at the beginning of the movie that wild Indians were still on occasion entering the town.
I think they're trying to say it really is intersecting with modern civilization creeping in with the old ways.
Yeah, almost like there's a frontier just outside town, you know,
one would think Montana might have been like way behind like the New York cities of the time and the Los Angeles or
well, sure it would have been. Yeah, when you
even Winnipeg might have been way ahead of their time, because Winnipeg was at the turn of the century, it was pretty established city by the standards of the day, right? Being that we're from that.
Sadly, I'm very bad at my history.
Yes, my North
What
American
what
history.
exact time frame are we talking? It was
Well, when we get into the meat of the story, it's the 1920s and it's Montana. And it's, you know,
it
history.
spans to like 1930 something, right? It goes from starts at like
It goes
So
on age, right?
That's the era we're covering in their lifetime. From little boys, I think it was like 20 to 19.
Yeah, turn of the century.
yeah. Wait, when was the Winnipeg General Strike? It was in
1911. So I'm not kidding when I think, if I know my history correctly, like Winnipeg was a pretty thriving city comparatively to parts of the world like Montana. But Montana, people had to go elsewhere to get their education, like our main character, Norman, right? Norman is pretty much like, it's his point of view in the movie, right? We see the movie through his eyes.
Yeah.
And so I would have liked to see more of Brad Pitt's character, Paul, to see his turmoil and his dark side more realized. They just kind of
we don't know the players in his murder are almost
just
like just as a guy. What is his name? Sal? Or no? What was the guy's?
They don't deal with that.
But they really don't touch on that. That's not what this is about, right?
Story, I mean, really, but it's, I guess, Norman's take autobiography of his life story after years.
Yeah.
Do you guys know much about the history of this story? Because it's based on a true story.
True story.
Yeah, it was an autobiographical short story written by Norman
McLean.
Norman McLean. He used his real name for the movie and the book. I guess he had no idea what happened to his brother other than what the cops told him.
Oh, well, he was beaten to death by a pistol.
Yeah.
But
we don't even really know how bad his addiction was. We have no idea,
All we knew was Paul was trying to just show the positive side, or just try to show his family, I'm okay, I can deal with it. He never wanted help, which was very frustrating.
Yeah.
As a brother, like you would say, Norman reached out. What's wrong? I cover your debt. I can help you out. But Paul was too proud to, he didn't want the help.
This is my debt. This is my debt. My debt.
Yeah.
Mine.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he died.
But Brad Pitt's character, though, there's something admirable about his character, though, too. It's like he was his own person completely, and so his family only knew, the movie depicts it, the family only knew one side of him, one part of him, but he was he had demons, that they really didn't uncover or show in this movie, and which says his brother really didn't know the extent of his own brother's demons.
Yeah. Do you think we needed to see how bad it got for Paul, or they really kept it sanitized in a way?
I liked it because, to me, that's not what this movie was about. I like this movie is that, my dad's a minister, so I connect in that sense. I liked how he was relating to his upbringing, to nature, and the connection with fishing and to religion and ethics. It was just to intertwine all those things and into that nature aspect. I thought it was just a neat take. I something unique in many ways that you don't really see, and maybe it wasn't done perfectly, but it sure was. Like I say, to me, this is a movie that is more about the feelings that you get from it than the story. I think it just captures something. It captures something neat that is just fun to be a part of for a little while. Yeah. Even though the story isn't that powerful, so it's, to me, that's what this movie, what makes it shine.
I really enjoyed the when the family worked, it worked. They seemed like a very happy family. They tried. There's that one scene where they're having dinner and everybody's back together.
Yeah.
And mother tries to say, so Paul, what about, and then it's an awkward scene where Paul, and there's some interplay. Do you remember the scene?
Where he says, I got to get going?
Yeah. And they never resolve anything. And that was the night where they go to that bar or that gambling establishment, and you thought doom for sure. You thought Paul was his end, but sure enough, Paul shows up for the fishing with father, and that was amazing scene. And that whole time there, right? Because after that, well, the demise of Paul happens, but for that fleeting moment, they're really happy.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah. It does make you wonder what to talk about this story, because the story was in many ways is kind of weak. I mean, you know, there wasn't a lot compelling about the story itself.
There's a romance that I thought was pretty sweet. The romance,
it was sweet, yeah.
And she wasn't easy to get. She was playing hard to get. I like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I've got to say, acting all around is great.
Acting was excellent. Yeah,
you can see Brad Pitt is a star, you know. And I thought the actor that portrayed Norman, like, what has come of that guy? Like, I don't recall seeing him in anything.
I wanted to look him up because I've seen him in other things, but
but I mean, pretty solid stuff, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, there was one interesting. Norman McLean was humble enough that he wasn't trying to compete with his brother to get that girl's affection. Yeah, that was because there's always going to be that edge in between brothers, and in my experience.
Yes. I can't dance like my brother. I'm no dancer like my brother, but would you care to dance with me? He says, right?
Yeah, and she bought in hook, line, and sinker, and that's awesome.
Throughout the movie, there's always that competition between brothers. Even the father is very competitive, even throughout his life, even at Horseshoes. You know, they all had a sense of competitive nature.
See, this is what I loved about this. This reminds me of my upbringing, is that competitive stuff, is that there's etiquette always trumps everything, in especially in really strict religious groups, right? You always have a humbleness about you. So that's very important. But yet you can play a game of horseshoes so fiercely. Like, I mean, you know, these Mennonite retreats we used to go on, you know, horseshoes were a very serious thing, you know, and even ping pong could become very serious, very competitive. Crokinole, very serious, very competitive, you know.
Why?
Because I think this is the, you know, because I don't know. I mean, that's just, maybe it's because they're so passive on everything else in life. This is their one outlet for aggression, you know.
That's probably a good part of it. Yeah.
But and this reminded me, the fishing just totally, it reminded me of my own childhood, just watching that. That's exactly, you know, especially he says, like, the Lord has been good to all of us, has blessed all of us today. He's been particular good to me today, you know, like, that's just something exactly that I could have seen in my youth that someone would have said, you know. It's you know.
Guys, have any of you ever fly fishing?
No,
I have never. No, I own a fly fishing rod.
Oh,
yeah,
because it is like, I don't know, the movie is really, that is a big part of the movie, and I joke, guys, it felt like a fishing porn movie. Like, this is
it is fishing porn. Yes,
like,
this is.
You know, when they had a lot of drama, a lot of foreplay, and then they got the fishing scenes. Oh, you know, the fishing, fishing man.
Did you say it off the top, Steve? It makes you want to fish. I mean,
it just seems like the best thing, right? You just like out there in nature, beautiful fishing port.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he talks about, I mean, you know, the count, like, who knew fly fishing was such a thing, like, you know, that a rhythm, the count, the you know, and then
it seems
he
like
broke from his father's rhythm and developed this own thing where he's, you know, and it looks like he's like orchestrating some kind of, they said a rainbow. He's making a rainbow with his, you know, and you're going, wow, that is amazing. Like,
I would I would absolutely love to see this movie on the big screen because it really is hard to appreciate like how beautiful this movie is. I love, and I think we all agree, I love wilderness, natural setting movies where you get away from all the buzz and excitement of a city and you get just to nature. And we've reviewed a few movies, right? And I love it.
I mean, can you think of what I love of this movie is, can you think of a better place geographically and a better era? Because I can't. I think that's perfection. You know, it's like it was just
behind you right now. It seems like perfection there in your tropical paradise there, John.
Well, see, I would rather be in the river in Montana.
Really?
Than here. Oh, hell yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I love. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I've never seen live fly fishing. I've never seen that before. I've always fished in a lake, and and I know there's different ways to do that.
Basically, they were fishing. To me, fly fishing seems like elite fishing, where it's like you don't use bait, right? They're snooty and they look down on like Paul's character.
Well, they use bait. It's just they don't use
and nothing that sinks. Nothing that sinks.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a fly. It's for the fish to jump out, try to catch the flies off the surface.
I apologize to all the fishing purists out there.
Yeah, you should.
Hey, all right, sorry. All right, but I want to bring up the funny part of them. There's a lot of humor in this movie, and the brother to the Norman's love interest. The brother is like, wow, what a douchey, like he's like the character, like so.
The character you love to hate. This guy,
what just the hell?
Wow. I mean, you know, this moment he showed up with that sweater tied around like a tennis player.
Yeah, I love it.
And just immediately, you know that he's just going to rub the audience the wrong way. You know, it's like.
So that was so hilarious. Like him and that woman falling asleep and getting just roasted. And all the physical humor of him trying to. And even still, like the love interest, she's like, how dare you not take care of my brother? Your brother is a fucking moron.
And he's a grown-ass man. Why? He's not babysitting.
Wait, what? Yeah, exactly. Why does he need anybody to look after him?
Okay, listen. She said what she thought she needed to say, but she didn't hold it over him.
Yeah,
I know, but it felt like, come on, this guy's clearly a world-class piece of crap.
I loved when he just leveled with her, and he said, "You don't." She said, "You don't like my brother." No, I don't like your brother. You know,
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, he was an honest guy. I mean, you know, and he tries to do the right thing. He tried to take this guy fishing. He did everything. You know, there's only so much he can do for a douchebag like Neil. You know, and so
Norman was a top guy, top of the line guy. He was a good.
He was,
guy. And I would think. Sorry, I don't recall her name, but you got a catch there. Pun intended. You got a real good catch there. You went fishing.
Jesse Burns. Jesse Burns. Yeah.
Jesse, you got a good man in Norman.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
actress or the
lady of malrepute, Rawhide. Remember?
Oh, her. Yeah. Oh no, she's not a good catch.
No,
well, she's.
I don't. That was just that whole.
It's a hell of a nickname.
What was her story? Her backstory?
Oh,
like
she made her way around town.
She was she was a beauty contestant that won.
Yes, time.
It got it was that whole group of scenes was just funny. It was just like
they were.
Good. And then it got dark and intense and very sad at the end. I mean, ultimately, that was a sad ending.
It was a sad ending. I mean, you know, and even watching the old man fishing there, which is Norman. It ends with the movie Norman standing in the river as an old man, and he talks about how all of them are dead now. You know, and he's alone in this river fishing with his memories. You know, and that's sad. I mean, there's a loneliness about it, but yet at the same time, he's surrounded by this beautiful,
full circle.
I mean, it's just.
He looked very old. He looked like a man in his 80s, and he's still doing it, which in itself is kind of very inspiring. Like, this, to me, was life. This is a family's life, and at the end of it, this is my story, right?
Yeah.
No, none of you, neither of you were bothered by the fact that they showed Norman as a kid. No, showed Norman as an adult and showed Norman as an old man, and none of them were Robert Redford, who was narrating the movie.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay.
That's true. Yeah, they could have had Robert Redford do that final scene, but
they could. That's a good point, Steve.
But Robert Redford, I mean, he's got reddish hair, right? So unless they was going to dye his hair, and then again, he's probably gray.
I guess they didn't have the old guy open his mouth, so we don't know what his voice could have sounded like. Theoretically.
True. Yeah, true.
I enjoyed it, man. What a great movie. Like, a good job there, Robert. And I have to add to this. Do you not think Brad Pitt was like handpicked as as the person to succeed Robert Redford as Robert Redford 2.0? He's like, so like, it's like,
and this is early in Brad Pitt's career, right? Like, this is one of his breakout ones, right? I mean,
this is Legend of the Fall.
Like, look, he's got top billing there. Look at him; he's in the middle, and like
this predates Legends of the Fall, does it not?
Oh yeah, it does. It does. And like, what I gotta add is like, wow, could you think of Robert passing the torch to Brad, and Robert thinking, if I could just be myself 30 years younger, that was him. Like, it's so amazing. I love it. I love it. And I got the movies confused, right? The Legends of the Fall, I got confused with this movie. I thought,
well, there's similarities between the two movies because, I mean, Brad Pitt's character is both in both movies. It's two brothers, and one has extreme charisma, and the other one sort of in the back scenes watching the one with the Brad Pitt in both plays the one with the charisma, and in both movies he defends Native people in bars. Like, so I think Legends of the Fall.
They're like, it's almost like a sequel or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a spillovers there. It seems like similarities for sure. Yeah.
Well, maybe we've got to review that movie if you haven't.
Well, we did. We've done Legends of the Fall already.
Sorry, guys.
Legends of the Fall. Yeah. Well, it was quite a while ago.
Very long time ago then, I guess.
One last question before we go into trivia. They point out that when Paul dies, his right hand is destroyed,
broken. Yeah.
Every bone. Why?
Because he was fighting.
Yeah. Because as they alluded to earlier in the movie, he was the younger brother, and he would fight bigger guys, right? So he went down swinging, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he went down breaking every bone in his fist.
Yeah.
I thought it was some kind of a lesson, or maybe they broke his hand because they knew he was fishing, and they didn't want to.
No, I took that as completely fighting.
Once again, like we said, we don't really get to see Paul's world because we were focused on Norman's. We get the brutal description of what happened from but that's it, right? Sad. It's a sad ending.
Super sad. Okay, so let's jump into trivia. Does anyone have any questions?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Brad Pitt trained himself to fly fish for 4 hours prior to shooting. 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Sorry, 4 weeks prior to shooting. Since he was not near any river in Los Angeles, he trained on top of a building. Now, I read later down the line while I was researching this, he did get some instructions, but still, that's fun. That's a fun bit of trivia.
Yeah, I'm sure once he got on location, he really honed it in.
I wonder how many fish he caught
on the building. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
A kissing done. Maybe he caught some birds.
Maybe. Yeah, well, you could have.
I don't know what to say. But I'm not going to say it. Whatever I had to say.
This next piece of trivia just seems. It seems. I don't. Am I not reading? Maybe we should read it before we actually say it.
I'll read this one. You guys read the next two. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Robert Redford courted author Norman MacLean for years before gaining the rights to this autobiographical novella.
Is courted does not mean date?
No.
It doesn't have to.
No.
It doesn't have to.
It's
Okay.
more like,
see that.
Like partners in a business might court each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's another word to say that? He enticed or he sought to gain, like.
Yeah, so he was like trying to butter him up.
Yes.
Trying to get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So Robert Redford clearly
was not having sex with Norman MacLean.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Let's not get that rumor we don't want that started on Primarily Critical.
No, do not want the story of Robert Redford having sex with Norman MacLean.
No, didn't happen.
No.
It did not happen.
It did not happen.
No. Okay, I'll take next trivia. Speaking of which, Norman MacLean often recounted the story of how his autobiography story collection autobiographical story collection was rejected by every large commercial publisher he sent it to. How dare they? Including one that rejected it on the basis that it contained too many trees.
What?
Hold on. It was eventually published instead by the University of Chicago Press in 1976 and went on to sell extraordinary well for them. Well, damn you. How dare you not like his work?
Yeah.
Too many
trees? What the hell?
In a book? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I mean, unless in his writings he talks in great length about trees, like, this was my favorite tree, Fred, and this was Bob. And, I can't see how trees ever offended anybody.
I don't know. I haven't read the book, so I wish I could.
Fair enough.
It's all a bunch of crap. Fight the power. Plant a tree. Yeah, plant a tree, my friends. Plant a tree. There's never too many trees. Let me tell you.
John's trying to read the next trivia piece.
Okay, here we go. Trout used in the movie were pond raised in Montana and were kept in a specially aerated and cooled tank truck until their big moment in front of the cameras. No hooks were used and no blood was drawn. A line was tied to each fish's lower jaw under the careful observance of the Montana Humane Society.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
This just doesn't this speak of the way things are these days? This reminds me of the pig that fell off the truck onto the Trans-Canada Highway.
This is not funny.
And all these motorists saw this and they rescued this pig and it became a news story. And there was a GoFundMe. People started raising money, trying to save the welfare of this pig. And because it got some injuries when it fell off the truck and all this stuff. This pig was on the way to being slaughtered. It was on a truck with a bunch of other pigs that all continued on the way and got slaughtered. But because this pig fell off, got injured, and they had to find a home for this pig. Okay, why in this movie do these fish matter more than every fish that's in our Captain Highliner and everyone that's being commercially raised in nets and stuff?
Oh.
Why do these fish? Because it's a movie and people will go, oh my God, they hurt fish to film this movie.
They wanted to put a sign.
It's okay to have it in my fat belly, but not okay.
John, I think they're alluding to they didn't want to torture the animals. They're trying to. It seems ridiculous. They went. If we're to believe this is true, they were just over the top with the humane.
So that statement is actual real fly fishing is torturing animals.
Oh, it's all torturing animals. I mean,
they gave no regard to those flies. None.
I mean, where does it stop, right?
Yes. That fly they put on the hook, it was a real live fly. What about the flies? What about the flies?
I shouldn't laugh, but it's
really, somebody please think of the flies.
It's really over the top, right? It's just, and this was not like, this is 1990. Sorry, what was the year this came out?
1992. Yeah.
They're already trying to do the right thing by people.
I know we're making fun, and some of those points are a little salient. I like, but I mean, I guess the human race is trying to be better, and
it's true. And I'm an animal rights advocate, so I'm not actually saying they should have, brutalize these animals in any way. I don't think that. I just think it's funny how humans think. I think it's funny how we look at our movies, that movies have to be made in a very ethical way towards animals. But I just
absolutely,
while watching my movie, I'm going to chow down on this,
absolutely,
whatever animal that was brutalized. But
absolutely,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, if people had to actually hunt for and fish for their own food, the world would be a different place, because it's not easy and it's brutal, not pretty.
And on that note, I think we can bring this podcast to a close. Does anyone have? Yeah,
we never ended on that note. But
yeah, totally. A river runs through it. That was a river runs through it. We are primarily critical. You are awesome for joining us. Next week, Monday at noon. What is it?
Is it a porn movie this time?
Weekend at Bernie's. Phil, without any spoilers, just in case people haven't seen it, Weekend at Bernie's, why'd you pick it?
I thought it was high time for just a dumbass, silly movie, just to have some fun. And no heavy content, no worrying about killing fishes and such. Just killing a human.
That was a bit of a tirade, wasn't it?
Just dragging a human around for a whole movie. That's what I was looking for.
Just cruelty to humans. That's all.
Good old-fashioned human torture.
Who doesn't love good old human cruelty?
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Anyway, I can't wait for you guys to join us. I can't wait for us to talk about it. And,
I can't wait to join us.
I can't wait. The tension, people.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Bye-bye.